Apparently, Mads Mikkelsen's the good guy over in Denmark, which is odd because over here he's always the bad guy. Probably because his name's Mads. It just sounds angry. Riders of Justice, or that. I'm not even gonna attempt that. I don't even know what the fuck sound that makes. It is brought to us by director Anders Thomas Jensen, good first name, and stars Mads Mikkelsen, Andrea Gadberg, and Nikolai Lykas. We follow Marcus, played by Mads Mikkelsen, a Marine, well, I guess he's a Marine, I'm not really sure. He is in the army, that's for sure, whose wife is killed in an unfortunate accident while he's on deploy, so he has to return home to take care of their young daughter. When another survivor of this accident approaches him and says that he suspects foul play, Marcus gathers up a crew and goes on a journey to find justice for those who killed his wife. Riders of Justice was a movie that I had heard of, but I didn't really know much about. I'd heard it was pretty good, so when given the opportunity, I gave it a go, and holy shit, I'm so happy I did. This movie was fucking awesome. This is one of the best movies I've seen all year. This is gonna be a movie that is gonna be really difficult for people to classify. If you look it up, it says action drama, but it is so much more than that. Yes, there is some action in it, and there is definitely some drama in it, but there's a healthy dose of comedy in it as well. This movie navigates through pretty much every single genre out there with the exception of horror. Even though it has been kind of billed that way, this is not just a simple revenge tale. Yeah, that's part of it, but that is not even the biggest part of this movie. This movie is mostly, at its core, about two people that have loss and the way that they deal with that loss. Yeah, there's some other stuff going on in the story for sure, but that is the core part of this story. This man and his daughter have lost a wife and mother, and the different ways that both of them cope with that, or don't cope with it at times. I don't want to say too much about this story for fear of ruining it, but just know that if you watch the trailer or if you hear anybody tell about what this movie's about, it's about so much more. It has that revenge aspect to it for sure, which by the way, they put a hell of a twist on at one point. And while I do typically gravitate towards those kinds of story, because who the hell doesn't like a good old revenge story, that's not the part that was so fucking interesting and good about this movie. This unlikely group of people that come together to all help each other through just life in general was the best damn part of the movie. Narratively, this is one of the most interesting tellings of a fairly simple story I have seen in a long time. They've got this fairly basic story that they tell in such an interesting and intricate way. I was absolutely blown away by this movie. I loved the entire thing. There's a whole lot more going on here than you expect, but the movie never wastes any time with it. It gets straight to the point from beginning to end. And a lot of that has to do with the fantastic performances from everybody involved. Sure, Mikkelsen is the most recognizable face to us here in the States, but everybody here does a fantastic job. There are no weak links whatsoever in this film. Everybody is spot on. They're heartfelt when they need to be, they're funny when they need to be, and they're brutally real at all times. The movie does not follow any conventions that you expect from this kind of movie. It doesn't really follow any conventions that you expect from any kind of movie. It tells its story in a very original, refreshing way. Pretty much anything you're expecting from this movie, it does in a totally different way. And that was so refreshing to not know what the movie was gonna do next. For this kind of movie, you go in expecting a certain thing, but about the third to maybe the half mark, you start to realize I'm not getting that. I'm getting something totally different. And I don't know what this movie's gonna do next, so I'm just gonna stop trying to figure it out and roll with it. And that's when the movie takes on a life unto itself, and it was so refreshing to just sit there and not know what the hell was gonna happen. There are some genuine moments of tension and heartache in this movie, but there are also some funny as hell moments too. That's something I hope doesn't get discounted here. While yeah, this movie at its core is a drama, there are some really funny moments here. The movie has a hell of a sense of humor, but it never overdoes it. It knows when it's okay to be funny and when it's time to be serious. You could be laughing your ass off in one moment, bawling your eyes out the next, and then cheering to the rafters right after that. But the director Jensen navigates through all these different genres masterfully. Never does the movie feel like it has split personalities or anything. It all flows together beautifully. If you didn't like or at least appreciate Mads Mikkelsen before this movie, you absolutely will by the time the credits roll here. And while this movie doesn't really lend itself to a sequel, the odd bunch of characters that come together and form a pseudo family by the end of this movie, I would love to see in another film. While I definitely got a conclusion to this film, I just want more of these characters. I loved seeing them all on screen so much. Guys, at the end of the day, Riders of Justice was one of those little movies that came out of nowhere and just blindsided me. I didn't know what to expect, and I really wasn't expecting much, but what I got was a fantastic film. I don't really have much of anything I can point at in this movie that wasn't good. I kinda loved everything in it. It had wonderful performances to some fantastic characters, a great, interesting story that you could really get behind. It digs deeper into these characters than you would ever imagine it would, and you never really knew what the movie had in store for you right around the corner. You never knew what emotion it was going to elicit from you next. It was a fantastic, refreshing watch that I recommend to pretty much anyone, and it is absolutely a unicorn. This movie just really hit on all levels. It not only did everything it was supposed to do, but it did more, and it did it all great. So if you're looking for just a fantastic film, not any particular genre, just a great watch for the night, then check out Riders of Justice, and I guarantee you will have a great time with it. This movie deserves to be seen, so please seek it out. It is wonderful. So there it is, guys, my review of Riders of Justice. If you enjoyed, want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Copenhagen.
Can't go.
Can we get more Mads Mikkelsen as the good guy, or at least the anti-hero over here in the States? Because he was fucking awesome here, and I want more of that. And I know he does a lot of US movies, and I want to see less Mads Mikkelsen as the bad guy and more badass, awesome Mads Mikkelsen as the good guy. Or like I said, the anti-hero. But probably not, because, you know, with a name like Mads, this is America, you're probably always gonna be the fucking bad guy. You're always a really good fucking bad guy, though, that's for damn sure.